What's up guys, it's Tyler from the Aquatic Journal. In today's video, I'm going to show you some B-roll from Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. I went there a couple days ago now, and I just wanted to show you some of the B-roll, talk about how I felt about the aquarium, and kind of the pros and the cons, I think, of this type of aquarium. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. This was my first time going to a public aquarium as a hobbyist. The last aquarium I had been to was Shed Aquarium in Chicago, and that was probably 6 or 7 years ago at this point, probably 5 years ago, I guess, at this point. So before I was keeping all these fish, before I knew a lot about aquariums. So maybe my opinion is skewed because of that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you how I felt about this aquarium. So first of all, the freshwater section of this aquarium was super small. They had 2 community tanks that had tetras and barbs in them, really. Honestly, not even sure if there was tetras, Buenos Aires tetras, or they could have been a type of barb. It's kind of hard for me to know because I don't keep them, but the world is they had 2 freshwater tanks with small fish in them. They had 1 monster fish tank, 1 tank with rays and pacu / piranha, and then another tank with just piranhas. And then they did have a couple brackish tanks, which is cool, but really that was it. In the whole aquarium, there was maybe 6 freshwater tanks and nothing super crazy. The monster fish tank was cool. It had an arowana in it, an arapaima, some red-tailed cats, as well as some armored catfish, and those are super cool to see. But I think there's a lot you can do. This is obviously, I'm skewed because I keep a lot of freshwater fish and I know some of the amazing fish you can keep. They did have an African cichlid tank that I didn't mention. That does show some of the colors that are available, but just some of the setups that you can do with a freshwater tank, I think, are super underrated. I'm not talking about showcasing the fish, more as like actual exhibits where you can see what kind of environments these fish live in, or you could even set up amazing planet tanks, and there was no planet tanks to be found. I think planet tanks is a huge part of the hobby, and I think if you're gonna draw people in, I think what you need is to show them planet tanks, and there was none. 0 planet tanks. I saw maybe 2 plants the whole time, and they looked super sad. So that's kind of how I felt about the freshwater side. If we look at the saltwater side, the sharks are awesome. They have probably 3 or 4 different types of sharks, I think, there. I'm not super familiar with sharks, so don't come jumping on my page like, oh, you missed another type. But there was a lot of different saltwater fish there. They had some seahorses, which were super cool. They had some fish that I've honestly have never seen before, so it's cool to see that kind of stuff. But they didn't really have like a good coral display, anything like that. I've seen, I think it's Aquarium of the Pacific has like an awesome coral display tank. They didn't have anything like that. So they had no corals, no freshwater planet tanks. The shark exhibit was probably, if you took the sharks, the penguins, and the stingray tank out of the aquarium, there would probably be like 3 or 4 big tanks at that point, and they wouldn't be that exciting. They would just be community saltwater tanks, which some of them are cool. They had some cool schooling fish, but really like my wife was like, how did you feel about it? Because obviously she's not a hobbyist, so it was just me that was excited to go there. And I was like, it was really underwhelming, if I'm being honest with you. Like, not super exciting. The sharks was a cool display. Seeing those sharks, they're absolutely massive. They're beautiful creatures. I mean, that's why Shark Week is so popular. Seeing the stingrays, super cool. I feel like they probably could have done more with the stingray tank, but yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of things it was missing. It's missing a large section of freshwater fish. I think you can do a lot with freshwater fish. I think you can do a lot with corals, talking about the coral reef, all that kind of stuff. There was really nothing talking about preservation that I saw. A lot of the fish that were there just were sort of exciting. They're fish I hadn't seen before, but they weren't anything really super incredible where I had to like sit and stare at the tank for a while. Seeing the jellyfish is always like awe-inspiring because they just don't even make sense as creatures. But besides that, like, overall, I just think it was underwhelming as a hobbyist. I think if you brought your kids there, they were interested in sharks or stingrays, I think they'd be amazed. But besides those 2 things, it's really, I wouldn't go back. Let's put it that way. The Shed Aquarium I've been to, I would go back to the Shed Aquarium. Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies, I don't think I'd go back. So this is a review from, I haven't been to that many public aquariums, so I have only really been to Shed. I've been to the Dallas Zoo, which has like a pretty substantial aquarium section. I haven't been to Georgia Aquarium, anything like that, any of the big ones, so maybe my opinion is skewed. Maybe they're all this way for all that I know, but I'm just saying, as a freshwater fish hobbyist going to the Ripley's Aquarium of the Smoky, I felt pretty underwhelmed. That's pretty much how I would summarize it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the B-roll in this video. At least some of the fish were pretty cool, so I hope that at least the video on this was cool, and I hope this helps if you're looking to go to Aquarium of the Smokies. If you're just not a fish hobbyist by any means, I would highly recommend you at least check it out, especially if you're in the area. I wouldn't go there specifically for that, but Gatlinburg is a super sweet area. Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, great, super fun vacation spot, but I wouldn't go there just for that aquarium, is how I would put it. But if you're there, you're interested in sharks or rays, go check it out. You'll love those two exhibits. But if you're interested in freshwater fish, I would maybe look for another aquarium. So that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out some of my other content if you're interested in fish at all. I do a lot of videos on freshwater fish. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.